One of the major things to happen to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, is the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which passed earlier this year. So one thing that act does is it cuts the overall size of the SNAP program by $186 billion over 10 years. That's a 20% cut, the largest cut in the history of the program, which has been going on for about 6 decades. Another thing that the One Big Beautiful Bill Act does is it imposes stricter work requirements. Specifically, it says that if you are an adult between the ages of 55 and 64, or if you are an adult that has a child over the age of 14, for the very first time, you are being subject to work requirements, which means you have to work a minimum of 20 hours a week, or you will be subject to the restriction, which is you only get benefits for a maximum of 3 months over 3 years. The challenge of this is that it creates a huge paperwork burden. So if you are someone that falls into this requirement, it means that on a monthly basis, you have to submit information to the state, and the state then has to process that information. So it creates a whole lot of work for lots of people who are involved. Through the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, costs are shifting from the federal government to the states. So historically, the federal government pays for all the benefits, which is the lion's share of the budget, and then administrative costs, 50% of those are covered by states. Beginning in fiscal year 27, states will have to cover 75% of administrative costs. That's millions and millions of dollars. The other thing is that based on the error rate of a state, which means they're under or overpayment, are they giving recipients the right amount of money each month? States will have to pay, if their error rates are high, a percentage of the benefits for the participants in their state. So you put all those things together, and what it really means is that millions of people are going to be falling off the SNAP program. So using food assistance programs as a bargaining chip really ignores how SNAP is a lifeline for tens of millions of Americans. We are coming up on the Thanksgiving holiday, which makes this even worse. We are at the beginning of the month, which is often the time when rent is due. So it is causing families to have to make difficult decisions. Do I pay my rent? Do I pay for food? Do I pay my medical bills? Do I pay for food? This is incredibly stressful for families to have to go through. The other thing that's happening is this is putting enormous strain on the charitable food sector and the emergency food sector. So we are seeing that lines for food banks are getting incredibly long as demand goes up, but the charitable food sector does not have the capacity to fill the hole that is being left by the federal government. So just to be more concrete about that, for every meal that food banks provide, SNAP provides 9. So the charitable food sector does not have the capacity to make up for the shortfall from the federal government. The other thing that's worth pointing out, there's very strong evidence that in addition to lifting families out of poverty, in addition to reducing food insecurity, and in addition to lowering healthcare costs, SNAP also is very supportive of local economies. So by that, I mean every dollar that goes into the local economy tends to generate about $1.50 to $1.80 in economic output. That is through people being hired in grocery stores to sell products. That is through local farmers receiving money. And so the program is really, really important for helping to boost local economies. It is even more important during times of economic downturn because when you put dollars into the hands of SNAP participants, they very quickly go from them into local grocery stores. So they can very quickly boost the economy. And in fact, during the 2008 recession, the White House was looking for ways to help boost local economies, and one of the ways they chose to do that was by having an infusion of cash go into the SNAP program, basically increasing the monthly benefit for a temporary period to help families, but at the same time to help local economies. There is a huge human element here. And so there are a lot of changes happening, both with respect to the shutdown and benefits for the first time being reduced by 50% for the month of November, all the changes happening through the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. It is a time of great confusion. It is possible that someone who has been on SNAP for some time will go to the grocery store, as they always do, and it is when they swipe their card that they realize they no longer have benefits. That creates this very awkward encounter between that person and the teller who has to let them know there are no benefits. It can really embarrass the person who is in need of food, who is at the register trying to buy food for their family. And so it is really important as we think about all these changes that are happening, that they are affecting real people in real ways. And food is something that all of us need to survive. And so we should be looking for ways to support participants, to ensure that everyone who can enroll does enroll, and to push as hard as possible to try to make SNAP participants whole.